Hey everybody, as always, thank you for tuning in. This podcast is brought to you by Draft Thunder. Come to us for all your daily fantasy needs.
Hello and welcome to the Draft Thunder podcast. I'm Andrew,
And I'm Ben.
and we're here to talk to you about season totals for the NFL.
Yeah, so along with our DraftKings and FanDuel type of content, we also like to throw in a few little betting tips that you might be into. Now that betting is legal in some states, and if you live in those states, and I know DraftKings and FanDuel have rolled out their own type of sports books on their websites. So maybe you're looking to get into that. Maybe you've never done it before. We've dabbled in it. We enjoy looking at these different things, and so we're just here to give you a couple tips that might help you out.
Yeah, we definitely have some experience, so it's not like we've never done this before, and we have a lot of insight and research that we go into. So we're going to tell you our favorite season total lines and what you should maybe look at going into the season. So what's your favorite, Ben?
Oh, my favorite. Wow. I think what I'm going to start with is the Colts over of 7.5. That's going to be at minus 115. So essentially, what that means is you bet $115 and you'll win 100 plus your 115 back. So when you go to the ticket window to pay back, it's going to be $215 after if you bet 115.
So you're not worried at all about the Colts this year?
This is assuming Andrew Luck's health. Everything we've been hearing is positive on that regard. Back to throwing the ball, back to looking sharp. And I know that division is improved, but the way their schedule is working out, 7.5 is a low total, and they have one of the best strength of schedules, as in, I guess, worst strength of schedules actually, because they play the NFC East, and while that division has the Eagles, the Redskins look to be down again. The Giants were down last year, so that weighs it a little bit. They expect to be healthier, obviously, but they play the Giants. I believe they get them at home, though. And then, I'm missing the team. The Redskins, Giants.
The Redskins, Giants, Cowboys.
Cowboys, I expect to be very down this year. So if you just go 2-2 there, they should win their home divisional games. That puts you up to 5 already. You're only looking at 3 more total, and Andrew Luck is a game-changing quarterback. We've seen him win games on his own. As long as he's healthy, I think they're going to mesh really well. Improved running game, a little bit of improved defense from the last time we've seen Andrew Luck. So, yes, I agree with the Jags' improvement. The Texans look to be good, and the Titans are solid. That division's going to be tough, but I think 8 wins at a minimum is a very solid bet for the Colts.
Yeah, they'll probably be a borderline team going into the playoffs this year. Another thing to think about is they were 4-12 last year, and that's without Andrew Luck. So we'll really see how they can improve this year. And talking about the NFC East, I'm going to talk about the Eagles. Their win total is at 10. I see that definitely going above 10 wins, 11, 12, 13. Going back to form last year, they haven't really lost too much. I don't think – have they lost anyone really?
No.
No one.
Besides
serious.
Torrey Smith.
Yeah, and then they get back Carson Wentz. Hopefully he will help them, even though Nick Foles did a great job. But basically, their division has just really been on the decline. Like last year, everyone in that division was awful. The Cowboys, Redskins, and the Giants. And the Cowboys have gone worse this year. The Giants have gotten a little better, in my opinion. But the Redskins are also a mess. New quarterback change, Alex Smith. I think Alex Smith will do a good job, but still, in games against the Eagles, I don't think he'll do enough to necessarily be able to beat them. So I think even right then, that might be a 6-game sweep of their entire division right there.
Yeah. At a minimum, at least 5-1.
And like we said, they'll probably be able to. The Colts, they'll probably be able to take care of the Colts, but that's the one game that's going to be hard for the Colts. And then the Titans, they'll probably be able to beat them, and the Texans too. The Jaguars will be a tough game, obviously, but we'll see from there. But I think that's a guaranteed 11 wins for the Eagles.
All right, we're throwing guarantees around.
Yep.
That's dangerous. All right, so I'll go with an under next for my next pick. And I'm going to go to the AFC East. I'm going to go to the Dolphins. Again, just looking at their division, obviously they have the Patriots, and the Patriots will most likely sweep them. Dolphins' win total right now is at 7. I'm going to play that under. It's at minus 115 again, so the bet 115, you get 100. I understand, Jets are down. And the Bills, we don't even know who's going to be playing quarterback for them between Josh Allen or Nathan Peterman. Who knows? But even if they were to do really well against their division opponents, they have a tough road Just looking when I was going through their schedule, they played the Bengals. They have to go there, so even a game that they maybe could win, they have to go on the road to play them. They have a tough stretch here. So between week 8 and 10, they're going to go to Houston. They come home for the Jets, which is going to be a game that they would need to win to get over that 7 win. And then they go back on the road to Lambeau and face the Packers. So they might drop that home game to the Jets just because of it being in between two really tough games. And that would be I think they would need to beat the Jets at home in order to push 7, even to push 7. So I think a push is like the worst case scenario here. I think under 7 is a pretty solid play because just looking at the way their schedule shapes out, they have some tough games that they have to go on the road for, some tough games at home that they might drop. So 8 wins would be a push for me for them to get to.
Yeah, I'm very against Dolphins this season. So an over that I've been looking at is the Jaguars, over 8. So last season the Jaguars went 10-6, and they made a pretty good run in the playoffs. They came really close, and they're coming back to full form this season too, in my opinion. Their strength of schedule is tied for 25th, with opponent teams going 122 and 134. I think that they're a playoff team, almost definitely. I almost personally put in a Super Bowl ticket for them because I do have a lot of faith in them this year, at least winning the AFC Championship, having that potential. And we'll see where they shape up, but I think with their schedule and that number, the problem is it's at minus 145, so you're not really getting too much bang for your buck. If you bet, $10, you'd get 5, right? Mm-hmm. So you'd win 15 with that. But I think that's a pretty good bet. And also, look at another over, the Ravens over 8. It's a little biased, but I really like our chances this year. Last year we went 9-7, barely missing the playoffs. Also known as Tyler Boyd, but we're not going to talk about that. They have a lot of potential this year. I think we got the pieces on offense that we need with the same defense, being able to maintain who we had last year. We were one of the top defenses in the league. And with playing the Bengals twice, the Browns twice, and the Steelers twice, I think we shape up against all of them really well and stand a good chance to gain those 9 wins.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm with you on that one. I'm going to go back to the AFC East, and it's going to be very similar to the Dolphins, what I talked about, and it's going to be the Jets under 6.5. I have zero faith in the Jets to even win a game this year. I just don't like the way they're shaping up. That's going to be at minus 140, so again, it's going to be a little tough, 140 to win 100. So obviously a little bit of rake to the book, but just I think it's a really solid bet. Even if it was at 6 and you could get it for a better price, I would do it. Just the same thing, the way their schedule shapes up. By playing the NFC North, you're playing at least 3 of the best teams in football, and the Bears, who I think is going to be an improved team. And so the Packers and Vikings look to be much improved, or the Vikings were really good last year. The Packers look to get Aaron Rodgers back. They should both be really good. And those are the 2 teams out of that division that the Jets play at home. And I don't see them taking either of those 2 home games. And assuming they don't win the other 2 on the road, if they get swept by that division, that's already 4 losses. They play the Patriots twice. You're already at 6 losses, and that's just counting a couple games on their schedule. So I think at 6.5, the under is a good play. Under 6, I would take. I don't see much more than 4 wins on their schedule.
I completely agree. So a team that I know that we are both against this year and don't think they're going to do very well is the Seahawks. Their win total is at 9. So what do we think about that?
I mean, I was on the under until I saw the price for it, but yeah. I think even if you had it at 8, 8.5, I think the under would still be a good play.
Yeah.
That team is just in shambles. I mean, Cam Chancellor wants to leave. Their big wide receiver acquisition was Brandon Marshall, who
Doug Baldwin just got hurt.
Yeah, and Doug Baldwin is out for the whole preseason, so who knows what he's going to be like. Brandon Marshall hasn't caught significant passes in years. Their running game, I know they drafted a first-round running back, but I mean, the reports are they've reached on him. It just looks like that defense is falling apart, which is what they base everything off of. The offense revolves around Russell Wilson, but he can't do it himself. We've seen that before. He tries, and he forces mistakes. And so I think even if you could get it at a better price at 8.5, maybe even 8, I would still take it. I think that division's improved now. We'll see what the Cardinals are like, but the 49ers with Jimmy G. So, and the Rams obviously are looking to go to the Super Bowl this year. So, just looking at that, I would say a winning season for them would be really tough to come by.
Yeah, and they're saying their strength schedule's pretty good. Like, they have a pretty easy schedule. But 2 of those games are against 49ers, who they saw last year as not as good of a team because they went 6-10. But this year they definitely have more potential and should be able to match up against the Seahawks a lot better. Another team that, looking in at their division, that's going to struggle are the Buccaneers. As we know, in their division, they had the Falcons, Panthers, and Saints, who all made the playoffs last year. Very hard division, and their total is at 7.5.
And they don't have Jameis for
How
4
many games?
games.
4? Okay.
Yeah.
And the first 4 games are the games that they honestly should be. They should be pretty hard. They're playing the Saints, the Eagles, the Steelers, and then at the Bears.
Yeah, it's 0-4 in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too.
And that goes into a bye week. So 0-4 going into a bye week, we might see a lot of wholesale changes. You might see a coaching change. Jameis will come back after that, but he can't do it himself. He hasn't really proven himself on the NFL stage. I know he's a good quarterback, just maybe he hasn't lived up quite to the potential. And so even getting him back, you said it was 7.5?
Yeah.
So counting the first 4 losses, you only need 5 more after that.
It's going to be tough.
I don't see it. Yeah.
And last year they went 5-11. And was that with Jameis all year?
He got hurt a couple times.
Yeah, I thought so. And then, like, a few games that I see, they had the Browns at home, which could be a win. We don't know what to expect out of the Browns. We're not going to even touch them with win total, I don't think. I'm not. Yeah. They're at the Falcons, at the Panthers, at the Bengals. So maybe they have like one easy win. Redskins at home, that's probably a win. But everything else is up in the air for them, in my opinion. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, and just at a quick glance at it, having to go to the Giants, even if we expect the Giants to not be as good, going there is always tough.
Ravens.
Going to Baltimore is always tough. So, yeah, unless Fitzmagic pulls something out of the air, I don't see them getting to 7.5.
Yeah. And all of the totals that we found have been on MyBookie for our lines. So that's what we've been talking about this whole time.
Hopefully you can find some better prices for some of these, or maybe you can use MyBookie if that's the best price that you find. But yeah, so just so we're clear on that. The next one I'm going to go to is a team I just said is looking to make the Super Bowl. I'm going to go to the Rams over at 9. Again, there's a lot of rake here to the book at -160. So I think if you got it at 9.5, we're not looking for pushes here. So if you could get it at 9.5, it's going to lower the price a little bit, and it's the same thing. Either way, they're going to have to win 10 games for you to win your money. Like I said, we're not giving you bets that are going to push, or we think are going to push. So 9 to 9.5 is not a huge difference. Either way, they have to win 10 games.
Yeah, and last season they went 11-5.
Last season they went 11-5, and they only got better.
Yeah.
Adding Brandon Cooks, Todd Gurley just got paid. Jared Goff, another year under that system. That defense is so good. It's even improved from last year.
And keeps Talib, right?
Yep. Akeem Talib. Aaron Donald, is a monster in the middle.
Hopefully he gets signed.
Hopefully he gets signed.
Well, extended,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
As long as he comes to camp.
He's got one more year.
Yeah. But that defense is just going to be really, really good. The offense, we saw it last year, and they're pretty much trading out Tavon Austin for Brandon Cooks. I'll do that any day of the week.
Yeah.
So at 9, I don't see how that division is improved, but assuming the Seahawks are down, like we said, and the Cardinals, who knows what to expect. Maybe they split with the 49ers and 5-1 in their division. And I know they have a little bit of a tough road because they were so good last year. Their schedule's kind of tough, but they should be the top team in the NFC. Them or the Vikings or the Packers, they should all be vying for that top seed. So that would give them at least 11, 12 wins. So I'm looking at the Rams over, even at the price that it's at. I would definitely take that bet.
So moving on, a team that I'm looking at is the Panthers.
I have that
over
one as
8
well.
wins. Yeah. It is over 8 at -125 right now, which I think is a great price for that. I think they're a playoff team once again. Last year, I didn't really expect that.
No.
I didn't expect them. What did they go again? They went, was it 10-6?
I think they were...
Or it might have been 11.
Yeah, I don't remember. I have the standings. Hold on.
Okay, 11-5.
Yeah.
11-5. And like we said, it's a tough division. And that's with that division,
Right.
with that competition. So to be doing that, and the thing is, it's a lot of young talent. Their receivers, Devin Funchess, and then like Christian McCaffrey in the backfield, they're only going to get better with more experience. And then their defense has surprised me, honestly, too.
Mm-hmm.
They have Luke Kuechly, who's great.
They did just lose a corner.
Did they?
But
But even last year, I didn't think they really had any cornerbacks
No.
noteworthy
not at all.
or any safeties. Like, it's just they somehow find a way to get wins, and I can only see that team developing more and
Yeah.
getting better.
And I mean, you don't have to mention the quarterback, but Cam is a really good quarterback.
He's a winner.
He's a game changer. I know he takes a lot of heat, and I know that people might not like his style, but he's really smart. He can really move the ball down the field, whether it's throwing, running, run pass option, anything like that. He's going to move the ball on pretty much any defense. So just based off all of that, I think the Panthers at over 8 is a really good play.
And I'm not sure what they consider the strength of schedule, but I love their schedule this year.
Mm-hmm.
So they have the Cowboys at home week 1, win. They're away at the Falcons. The Falcons are obviously tough all year, same with the Saints, so I won't even mention them. But they got the Bengals at home, that's 2. Giants 3. At the Redskins, that's 4, I think. At the Eagles, we count that as a loss. Ravens at home. I'm going to give it to the Panthers probably.
Yeah.
That'd be
It'll be
5.
tough.
Buccaneers at home and away, 6, 7. And then Seahawks at home, 8. And then there's all the ones up in the air, but that's 8 right there.
That's 8 there, and they go to Cleveland, they go to Detroit,
Yeah. They play
to
the Steelers away.
Washington. They could win any of those. You would just need one of those wins.
And just one of the games against Saints or one against Falcons, just
Right.
any of those. I think 8's a great number for them. So I think they should definitely be 9, 7 or above and make the playoffs once again this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. My next one, I'm going to go to the Bears.
Oh, God.
They won 5 games last year, and Mitch Trubisky threw, I think, 5 passes in 3 of the games. So they won 5 games without a quarterback. And another year under that system, I expect Trubisky to be a little bit better at least. That running game is real. Jordan Howard is a monster. Tariq Cohen has changed the pace back is really good. They just got Allen Robinson, so that should only help with the development of Mitch Trubisky. That defense is legit. I just remember watching the game against the Ravens when they played us last year, not in the Hall of Fame game, but in the regular season last year. And I was just so frustrated by the defense. We couldn't move the ball. And so their win total's at 6.5. They won 5 last year. I don't see any way they don't get to 7. I expect them, even in that division, to kind of push the Packers and the Lions and the Vikings.
Vikings going to be tough.
Vikings are tough. I'm not going to deny that. But it's not like they're going to get swept by that division. They're going to take some games. They're going to spoil some of that. And so at 6.5, I think it's a really good overplay. They start out tough. They're at the Packers. They get the Seahawks at home. They get the Bucks at home. They get the Jets at home. And they get the Rams at home. I'm not telling you they're going to win that game. But they get them at home, so it always helps. And then on the road, Dolphins, Bills, and at the Giants. So maybe they get at least one of those, maybe 2, maybe even all 3.
Yeah.
They're at the 49ers late in the season. Who knows what that's going to mean to either team. So, and at the Cardinals in week 3 with the Cardinals probably starting Rosen, a rookie quarterback. He might not be settled in yet. So, just listing off those teams that I just mentioned, I can't see how they don't get to at least 7. They might push to 8, and then they, maybe they even get a winning season out of this. So, I think Trubisky under that system, I really like their head coach, and that defense is legit. So it's going to play all year. The defense travels. So even if Trubisky doesn't take a huge step forward, the defense is going to keep him in a lot of games and hopefully push him over the top.
Yeah. In my opinion, this is a really tough one because we don't really know 100% what to expect for them. They were a 5-11 team last year, but Ben makes great points, and it kind of makes me reconsider what I thought about them going into this season. Now, a team that I also think is not going to do well this season is the Bengals. Now, last year they did have kind of an easier run at it because the Ravens weren't probably as good
Right.
as they are this year. And then the Browns obviously weren't as good as they were this year,
Yeah.
16. We all know that story and how they're improving this year. But things are just getting harder for them. And I don't think they've gotten better. People have been saying they've been getting better and how they're this team who's like got a chance to see the playoffs, the grit,
Right.
stuff like that. Marvin Lewis almost got fired last year.
I mean, he's
I don't
never won a
know
playoff
why.
game.
It doesn't make any sense.
In 19, 20 years, whatever he's been there, he hasn't won a playoff game.
No.
Still has a job. It's actually kind of incredible.
And I don't think they match up against any of these teams that are playing well. Like I said, they're at the Colts week 1. We already said that's probably a loss for them. And they might get one game against the Ravens. I'll say it. Maybe one game. Maybe the game at home. But probably not. So I'm not giving them that. I'll give them the Dolphins. And that's 1. And then the Buccaneers at home. And then, even their home games against the Raiders, the Broncos, the Browns, those are all hard games. Raiders have improved this year. I think the Broncos are actually a team to watch this year. Call me crazy. I know you don't think so.
I'm going to call you crazy.
I know. But watch. They're going to give some teams some trouble. I don't think they're a playoff team yet. They're not there yet because they have the tough division. They have the Chargers. They have the Chiefs. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. But yeah, I don't think the Bengals are getting to 6.5 wins, and that's just not happening in my opinion. They went 7-9 last year, but I don't think they're going to even match up this year. I think this is Marvin Lewis's last year in Cincinnati.
I've been thinking that for a while, but he keeps
who knows?
coming back.
Hey, I'm okay with it as a Ravens fan.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't care.
fine, and as long as Tyler Boyd doesn't play. All right, I have one more, and it's one I just kind of found as I was going through some of these schedules. The Cowboys, I don't expect to be very good this year.
No. Completely agree.
Their number one receiver is Cole Beasley. At this point, I know Zeke is great. Their defense is okay.
They got Terrence Williams too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have nobody.
I don't know.
Dak, we saw him regress last year, and that was with some receivers. I'm not loving their outlook. They're under 8, and you're getting plus money, actually, at this price. So at under 8, you can get it at plus 130. So it's $100 and you win 130. So a little bit of money to you.
I feel like the reason why that's happening is because they're America's team.
Yeah.
They're the biggest team.
The public money is definitely on the over. They see Cowboys at 8, and they're like, of course the Cowboys are going to have a winning season.
We're making the playoffs.
Right, exactly. So just looking at their schedule again, obviously they're in that not necessarily a tough division, but with the Eagles, I don't expect them to take a game from them. The Giants, like we said, should be improved, and the Redskins are iffy, so maybe they split with them. Maybe they split with the Giants. But after that, they have to go to Atlanta. They're in Houston. They're in Seattle, which I know we said Seattle's down, but that's going to be one of those games where going to Seattle is going to be tough for them. They get the Jags at home, but I don't see how they move the ball against that Jaguars defense. Saints at home again. I don't think they can stop the Saints. And they go to Indianapolis. So I'm only seeing 6 wins here. Maybe they get to 7, but I'm thinking at 8. There's no in my opinion, they're not getting a winning season out of this. 8 at worst, you're gonna push it. I don't see them even getting to 7. So, especially at the plus money, I think that would be a great play.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't see anything good happening from them. If anything, I see the potential in the other teams in their division, but not them. This could completely go bad for them this season. So, I don't have any more.
Yeah, I'm out.
I'm thinking. So, definitely let us know what you think of our picks. Let us know if there's anything else that you want us to talk about.
Yeah. Sorry if we talked bad about your favorite team. It's just the way it is. We don't hate them. We don't hate you. We love you guys.
No, we like underdogs, if anything. So.
So yeah. And obviously these picks aren't guarantees. I know Andrew called one of them a guarantee.
Yeah, I'm
don't
sorry
listen
about
to
that. None of this is a guarantee. We
don't-
like to think it's a guarantee as bettors, but
Don't bet your child's Christmas money on it. It's not worth it. It's just for fun. If you want to follow along all season, let us know what you think. Let us know if you play these plays. We'll root for them with you.
yeah,
So let us know.
yeah, that's it for us. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Ben.
Thank you for joining us.
If you found this podcast helpful at all, make sure to let us know. Send us your winning lineups. If you guys liked us, make sure to follow us on Twitter at DraftThunderDFS. Thank you guys for tuning in. See you next week.